Last week, West Ham United had a £20 million bid rejected by Lille for their 20-year-old centre midfielder Amadou Onana. Well, in the last few days, they've had a £25 million bid rejected as well. So 2 bids have gone in, 2 bids have been rejected, and they're considering going back for a third offer as well. That's according to Dermesh of Sky Sports, and as you know, we love Dermesh of Sky Sports, and crikey, it is hot today. Now, before we discuss that Onana bid and get into the West Ham transfer rumours, may I briefly tell you about our Patreon? Would you like more Hammers Chat videos? How much more? Lots more. Then head over to our Patreon at patreon.com/Hammers Chat, or click on the link in the description of this video or in the pinned comments of this video. We've made it easy for you. Go and have a look. But it's not just video contents, we've got some benefits as well, including a giveaway this Thursday where all patrons are entered. The prizes include this signed Mark Noble shirt, this signed Elise shirt, this signed Tony Carr autobiography, signed by Ray Stewart, artwork by Cantown Len, and of course some Hammers Chat merchandise. So if you fancy supporting Hammers Chat, do check it out by going to patreon.com/Hammers Chat. Check out the links below and I'll tell you about the mug offer we've got on at the minute at the end of this video. Back to Onana, back to the West Ham transfer rumour show. I think it's fair to say the sun's got to me a little bit today, but you've got to try something new, haven't you? Anyway, shall we see what rumours are in the pink book today? And we're going to start with the big one of Amadou Onana, Lille's 20-year-old centre midfielder. So a couple of weeks ago, West Ham went in with their initial offer of 20 million, which was rejected. They've gone back in again over the last few days with their second bid of £25 million. That's been rejected as well. Lille are wanting £33 million for their centre midfielders, an £8 million difference in valuations currently, which is it's quite chunky, isn't it? It feels quite substantial, that. I think when you see these reports of maybe a couple of million apart in the valuations, you think, oh, that'll be fine. They'll sort that, no problem. A deal will be done there. If you see reports of around 5 million, like it's a deal up to Fulham at the minute, even 5 million, think a deal can be struck. They're not worlds apart. They'll sort that out. Rented over 5 million starts to feel a little bit chunky, doesn't it? That it might be a bit of a deal breaker. However, the one thing that gives me a little bit of optimism that this deal could be struck, should this be David Moyes' main target for that centre midfield role, is the fact that our first bid was 20 million and our second bid was 25 million. To jump 5 million between bids is quite substantial, I feel. I think that is a statement of intent to purchase that player. So I'm quite hopeful that should we return for a third bid, it might be enough to tempt Lille into selling Amadou Onana. Now, I actually believe these reports. I believe the second bid of 25 billion for 2 reasons. First of all, the source. You knew I was going to say that, didn't you? Because of Dermesh of Sky. We love Dermesh in this channel. But it's not just that. I think his track record this summer, even last summer with Kurt Zouma, but this summer with Aguerd, Areola, with Flynn Downs, he's been on the ball in every single one of them. And I would suggest breaking stages of the transfer on some of them. I think he's been the one leading the story at various points. Now, not necessarily this one. Le Quip was running with this over the weekend that West Ham had a €30 million bid rejected for Onana, but Dermesh has followed it up today. I've spoken to him as well, and he's confirmed that West Ham have had a bid rejected and may go in with a third bid, but they're also exploring other options as well. Hopefully it's going to come back on the channel though, later on in the month or at the very start of August to give us the gossip, if you like, the verified rumours as I call it. But the second reason I believe this bid is because of the type of player that Onana is. Now, when we're linked to a centre-back now, we were linked to a Hertha Berlin centre-back the other day. I didn't even read, actually. I did. I read the article. I was going to pretend I haven't even read it. I did. I read it. But as soon as I finished, I forgot I read it, basically. But whenever we're linked to a centre-back, I dismiss it straight away. I think, well, that's just not happening, is it? We don't need a centre-back. Even if we sell Diop, we still don't need to purchase another centre-back. We've got our lot for next season. We've got Ogbonna, Zouma, Aguerd, Dawson. That's it. That's all we need. We're complete. For the centre-back areas and the right-back areas and the goalkeepers, we're done. Business is finished up. So from now on, when we're linked to centre-back, I'm just, maybe naively, very dismissive. And the same with defensive midfielders, to be fair. Now that we've signed Flynn Downs, in the last show we discussed Santiago Escobar, didn't we? We got linked to Hertha Berlin's defensive midfielder. We dismissed that straight away because we don't need another one. We've just signed Flynn Downs. But it doesn't mean we won't sign another centre midfielder. In fact, as soon as we signed Flynn Downs, the same report said West Ham still want another centre midfielder, just a completely different one to the way that Downs plays. And that's what Onana is. Onana isn't a defensive midfielder. I haven't seen loads of him, but even I know he's not a defensive midfielder. He's a box-to-box centre midfielder. Now, whether he's as good in the final third, or better, should I say, than Thomas Souček. I don't know that much about him, but what I do know is he's not a defensive midfielder. So I believe that we are in the market for another centre midfielder. Well, actually, I'm encouraged that we're in the market for another centre midfielder now, and a substantial transfer fee as well. If reports are to be believed that we're in for Armando Broja and Amadou Onana at the minute, you're looking at another £50 million outlay currently. Now, obviously, if we can sell this a deal, that would make it look a little bit better. That would give us roughly a £75 million net spend. If we signed Onana, Broja, then the three we've currently got, and Diop leaves, that would be a £75 million spend. It's quite a decent transfer, Katie, more than I expected us to sign. Hopefully, business wouldn't be finished. But in terms of Amadou Onana, I'm quite hopeful and optimistic that, well, A, that David Moyes wants him, and B, that David Moyes might just get his man as well. Anyway, enough about him. Shall we discuss the other one, Armando Broja? So, we know now Chelsea are away to their pre-season tour in America. He has not travelled. He has stayed behind in London. He wants to stay in London. He prefers a move to West Ham over the other clubs interested in him, including Everton and Newcastle. It looks like he doesn't want a loan move. He wants a permanent switch somewhere. While he wanted to have a future at Chelsea initially, it sounds like he's pretty much given up on it a little bit, and he's decided that he wants to sort of secure a permanent transfer elsewhere and start to see a future with that club. And everything, and I mean everything, is pointing to him joining West Ham. I've gone from hopeful to optimistic to confident, and as I sit here right now, I feel pretty confident that we will end up signing him this week. There is some reports today that we'll go for him towards the end of the transfer window, but that just doesn't make any sense. It doesn't add up whatsoever. He's not involved in pre-season tour. Chelsea have just signed Raheem Sterling. They're still in the market for other strikers, including Cristiano Ronaldo. They're away to spend big money on Nathan Ake. They want other centre-backs, including De Ligt, to replace Rudiger and Christensen. Chelsea are having a spend-up this summer to essentially replace players that have just left. It's a bit like what we're having to do. You know, we've just had to spend $9 million on Flynn Dams to replace Mark Noble, essentially. It's expensive. You might be upgrading, but you're just simply replacing what you've just lost. So Chelsea, as rich as they are, could do with money coming in. 30 million is a decent chunk of cash, you know. So I am pretty confident that Armando Broja may be a West Ham United player pretty quickly. I'm hoping that we sign him this week, quite frankly. Now we've got to discuss Josh Cullen, Keane Lewis-Potter, Mohammed Bayo, that Watford pair, Manuel Lanzini and more. But before I get onto that, can I point in the direction of this video sponsors, the One Football app? Because outside right now, the weather is hot, but this app is sizzling. Can I just pose a quick question to you? Don't you hate it when you download a football app? None in particular. Maybe think of one, blue and red theme. Let's just pretend it's a blue and red theme app that you download with football news. You go on it, and all it there is the big six news. You've got to scroll for ages to find something relating to your club. Don't have that problem with the One Football app. You download it, you choose who you follow, you choose what you want to see. So when you load it back up again, you click on your club's badge, and it's got the transfer rumours, it's got the transfer news, also news relating to the friendlies as well, because friendlies galore at the minute, including West Ham. Tomorrow night we've got two friendlies kicking off at the same time at 7 o'clock as the Hammers take on Boreham Wood as well as Ipswich Town. Now when you wake up on Wednesday night, you might think, hang on, I could only watch one game last night. What happened to the other one? Well, all you have to do is load up that One Football app and check out the match report and see how the Hammers got on in both of their fixtures tomorrow night. Link to download it is via the description below, and guess what? The app is completely free. Happy days. Right, transfer rumours. Josh Cullen, not to West Ham, to Burnley. He's off to Burnley. But it turns out there's a little clause in there. I'm quite critical of West Ham for not including these clauses in deals. Turns out we might have actually included one in the sale of Josh Cullen to Anderlecht for a 20% sell-on clause. So he's off to Burnley for rumoured to be around about €3 million, which equates to about £500,000 that West Ham will receive from the transfer. So we might be able to upbid our Onana bid from 25 million to 25.5 million, thanks to Josh Cullen going to Turf Moor. Manuel Lanzini has been linked with a move away, this time to Turkey at Besiktas. He's still got 12 months to go on his contract, although the club do have an option there to extend it for a further 2 years. It's a bit of an awkward one, isn't it? I think if Lanzini had an option for a further 1 year, I think we'd activate it. A further 2, It's quite much at the minute. To have Lanzini on a 3-year deal would be probably 1 year too many, if I'm being honest with you. And I love Lanzini, don't get me wrong, I absolutely love him. I just think with his form is very peaks and troughs, isn't it? You know, some games he's fantastic, the next games you barely notice him, he's like a ghost on the pitch. Injury record wise, it's not the best, is it? And even if we had a cup final today, let's just say today West Ham had a cup final, would Lanzini get in the team? I'm not sure. The bench certainly, but I'm not sure he'd get into that starting 11. So we've got a plan for the future, and I think we are doing that a little bit this summer. You know, the signings of Guerd, Flynn Downs, these are good ages. Onana, 20 years of age. So it looks like we've got one eye on the future. Could I see Lanzini here for the whole of this season? Yes. Next season? Probably. The season beyond that? I'm not too sure, actually. So yes, he's been linked to a move to the Turkish side Besiktas, so we'll have to wait and see on that one. Once again, West Ham are being linked to Mohammed Bayo. We know all about him now. I'll be honest with you. You know when earlier I spoke about I'm dismissing transfer rumours regarding centre-backs? I've become guilty of doing it with strikers. I'm almost assuming we're just going to sign Armando Broja, and when we're getting linked to other strikers, I'm like, we'll see, shall we? The Bayo one, it's been around a while. I think if we were genuinely interested in him, we'd probably know about it by now. It seems that it's just rumours. If we never were linked to him, he's linked to another couple of Premier League clubs within the same report. So, seems a bit convenient, that to me. Almost like his agent's drumming up interest or something. Now, in regards to Watford, and I'm going to tell you a player I would not mind at West Ham. We're not being linked to him, but I wouldn't mind him. Watford have gone off on their season tour and left a few players behind, including Sarr and Dennis. Neither of them have travelled with the expectation that they're going to leave Watford. Also, so has Danny Rose. If anyone wants Danny Rose, he's not included. But Sarr and Dennis have remained behind in England to try and secure moves away from Vicarage Road ahead of this next season in the Championship. So that's a bit of an interesting one in regards to West Ham, because if our interest in those is genuine and we do want to sign them, well, you're going to have to make your move now, aren't you? They're literally there waiting for somebody to go and buy them. Now, the player I wouldn't mind at West Ham, I think there's some split opinions with you. And that's why I've left it towards the end of the video. You know, it's only like the real Hammers Chat people are watching at this point. Sergio Reguilon. Now, hear me out, okay? Spurs left back, was been playing left wing back mainly. I didn't mind him in La Liga. I was quite almost like when he came to Tottenham, I thought, I was a bit envious actually. I thought I wouldn't mind him at West Ham actually. And at times for Spurs, I think he's looked good. I mean, don't get me wrong. At other times for Spurs, he looked like a blooming liability. Hence why Conte wants rid of him. And Conte has already replaced him. So he's not part of the pre-season tour, basically being told find a move away. There's 3 other Tottenham players as well, Harry Winks, Lo Celso and Ndombele. They've all also been left behind and been told, you know, go find other clubs. Harry Winks looks like he's on his way to Goodison Park. I'd imagine Ndombele will go back to France, and Lo Celso, well, he was in Spain last season, so I don't see why he wouldn't go back to Spain. But with Reguilon, I would not mind him at West Ham. The problem is, it's Tottenham, isn't it? There's almost this modern thing of not doing business between Tottenham and West Ham, and I don't mind it actually. I quite like it. I find it quite petty to some extent. So I'm a fan of that. But we need more pettiness in football, I think. So dealing with Tottenham is a tricky one, but I think he's a really good left back actually, and somebody that's clearly going to be available. Transfer fee wise, I don't think he'll be extortionate. You might get him on loan as well. And Ndombele and Lo Celso both went on loan out of Tottenham in January, so it's a possibility you could get him on loan if he didn't play for Spurs. But if he was available, I don't think I'd turn my nose up at him, that's for sure. Keane Lewis-Potter, he's done. The last show I said I wouldn't be surprised there's late interest from West Ham. Turns out there wasn't any. He's flying back from Hull's training camp now to finalise a move to Brentford. So Keane Lewis-Potter will be a Brentford player in a couple of days' time. So that ends West Ham's interest. Now, in regards to the reports for Keane Lewis-Potter, it suggested that West Ham did want him. West Ham like him a lot, were wanting him, but they've decided to not go in for him because they're focusing on Broja at the minute. Which is, well, it doesn't really add up, does it? They're completely different players. One's a striker, and when I say a striker, an actual striker, like out-and-out striker, and the other one is a left winger. So it's not like there's 2 players for the same position, is it? if that was true, that would insinuate that we've spent the budget, that we've only got, I say only, we've only got 50 million left, and we're looking at spending it on Broja and Onana. Now, whether that takes into the potential sale of Diop or not, I'm not too sure. But if we haven't been able to go in after Keane Lewis-Potter because we're using the money elsewhere, that would suggest that, well, the cupboards are getting a little bit bare at the minute, which would keep the spending at around 75 million, which was probably expected pre-transfer window. Would spell trouble in regards to getting another attacker midfielder and getting a left back. However, I wonder if the reports have got half the truth there, and that we haven't pursued him because we do want someone else. It's just the wrong player, and the actual player is Jesse Lingard. You were all thinking it as well. Before you say stop mentioning Jesse, you were all thinking. I bet it's just Moyes waiting for Lingard. I'm thinking it as well, but I bet it's just Moyes waiting for Lingard. Ben Bereton Diaz. Now, I forgot to mention him last week. We got linked to him again. Hell no! I've gone off him completely. The second half of last season, there was mitigating circumstances around his lack of form and his goals drying up and stuff. I just don't think he's that good a player, and I don't think he's good value either for 20 million. I don't want to see him at West Ham, and I hope the rumours over the last week or so linking us to him again are false. I was unsure on Adam Armstrong when we were rumoured to him. I didn't really want him. That, funny enough, the Blackburn fan, when I did that video with the Blackburn fan, he put me off him. And I've got that vibes with Ben Bereton Diaz. I wouldn't like it. Now, that's all the transfer rumours. The only thing I'm going to add in is about Mark Noble, actually. I might do this in a video next week or something. Depends on the content, When the content's a bit thin, you've got to get a little bit creative. But Mark Noble, I noticed David Moyes did his article the other day about how he's the oldest manager in the league and stuff, and he mentioned, or got asked about Mark Noble, and he said that Mark Noble is essentially going to come back in a sporting director capacity, which adds up with what Mark Noble's always said. Mark Noble's always suggested he doesn't want to be the manager of West Ham, because if he does crap, people want him sacked, and then he's no longer Mark Noble, the former West Ham player. He's now Mark Noble, the sacked West Ham manager. Look at Slaven Bilic, for example. So Noble's always hinted about a role at West Ham in between the managerial staff and the boardroom, somewhere in there, and it looks like that is going to be his role at West Ham. So I might do a video about it, because the sporting director role is an interesting one. It's not as common in Premier League clubs. It's very common in Bundesliga. I think pretty much every Bundesliga club has got a sporting director. They've got different titles over in Germany, but it's pretty much the same thing. And they're a big role over there. They're trusted a lot. That's why when you see German clubs, the manager is usually referred to as the head coach rather than the manager, because of the sporting director. They are doing, I guess, half the job of a manager to some extent. So a bit of an interesting role for Mark Noble, and I do wonder what his job roles would actually be at West Ham, particularly with the way that David Moyes is as a manager and the way that David Sullivan is as a chairman. And then you've got to throw Rob Newman into the mix as well. So I do wonder, with that three already, throwing Mark Noble in there, I wonder how the makeup of that would work, and how it would be an interesting dynamic anyway. Right, anyway, I'm going to just be... Oh, Patreon mug. I almost forgot I did that silly bit at the start. Yes, this is the mug. West Ham are massive. Hammers Chat are relatively small. If you join up Patreon as a mild addict and join up for the year, you get this for free. Not this one, you get another one for free. If you join up as an addict in July, just on a monthly subscription, and you renew again. So if you're an addict in July and August, you get one of these for free. Now, you must pay postage and packaging. It's $3.50 if you live in the UK, but you get the mug for free. But yes, if you wouldn't mind supporting the channel, please do. Go to patreon.com/hammerschat. Links in the description, pinned comments. From £3.60 per month, you unlock loads of new video content. And when I say loads, I mean loads. I think in August we've got about 25 videos going up on Patreon. So nearly a video every single day. So from £3.60 per month, you can support the channel, help us make these videos, and you get more video content as well as some benefits. Anyway, I am going to disappear. I am sweating. I am absolutely dripping. I mean, what idiot puts on a black t-shirt today? This one. But if you enjoyed this video, please do drop a like on it, subscribe to the channel, and I'll catch you tomorrow. We should have content around all the games. We'll definitely have a build-up show. And if West Ham announce some form of streaming for one of the games, we'll have a watch along and a review. Happy days. Catch you in a bit.